I can predict almost with absolute certainty how healthy a real estate agent's business actually is based off of how dialed in these 3 systems are. So in this video, I want to share the 3 systems that every successful real estate agent needs. We're talking about lead generation, lead conversion, and client retention. I totally blanked on the last one. These are really important indicators of how well and smooth your business is going to run, so I'm excited to dive in. And hey, if you stick with me to the end of this video, I'm going to be sharing a way that you can actually work with me live in a free training that I am rolling out to agents everywhere coming up soon, so stay tuned. And hey, if we haven't met yet, my name is Stefanie Lugo, and I am obsessed with helping real estate agents grow their business and create the life that they dreamed of. If you're into that kind of thing, be sure to hit subscribe to that channel and hit that bell notification icon to be notified every time I'm dropping new videos just like this. It's free. You can change your mind about it. If you change your mind later, it's totally fine, but it does help me not only stay in touch with you, but support other agents who are looking for information just like this. So thanks a lot. All right, let's dive into these 3 systems that are going to be super important to your success as a real estate agent. And the first one, of course, first and foremost, the MVP of all real estate businesses, lead generation. Every real estate agent needs to have clarity, and I'm talking absolute clarity, not only on where their leads should be coming from, but also the activities that results in those leads. Here's what I mean. A lot of times, especially when we get busy in real estate, it can feel like business just kind of comes out of nowhere. Like we get a referral on the fly or we get a sign call. And at some point, it starts to feel like it just kind of runs on autopilot. But as soon as you think that that's the way your business is running, you are headed straight for a lull in business. Now, a lot of the real estate agents who get busy with deals, they tend to just let the prospecting slide because, let's face it, no agent truthfully loves prospecting. Like, we don't want to have to ask for business all day long, and it can feel tedious to take our time to generate new business when we're already busy closing current clients, right? And it's a fair conundrum to find yourself in, but understanding where your leads need to come from and what activities we need to do consistently to generate those results is what helps your business stay on that upward slope going up and to the right. We want to focus on sustainable, predictable growth over time, and your lead generation system is what results in that. Now, regardless of what your experience level is in the industry or where you're located, all real estate businesses have to have a focus on 2 different worlds in terms of lead prospecting. The first one is their database marketing plan. The second is going to be generating leads proactively. Now, these are 2 different forms of prospecting, but both have to work together in order to have smooth, predictable business and a really healthy, mature pipeline of leads. Let's talk about database and network marketing first. Now, this is one of the things that every single agent needs to start on. And if I were to go back to my first year in real estate and just kick myself in the pants for not doing the one thing I should have been doing, I should have been focusing from day one on my database and network. Now, my husband and I, we're a husband and wife duo, and we really focused on finding right now leads in our first year instead of looking at our network and putting the systems in place to generate more referrals. What it really came down to is we just assumed that our database was not going to show up for us, and we were kind of afraid to put ourselves out there and mess up in front of our friends and family, like the people who we already had that know, like, and trust factor. But what that also did was that stunted our growth from growing our network with new clients as well. And by new clients, I mean like new business relationships, contacts that you should be adding into your database over time. Now, if I were to go back, I would have immediately done that and gone all in. And still today, once we figured it out, it worked really well in order to get our referrals up, increase our brand awareness within our existing network, and it really helped make conversion with certain prospects even easier, especially if they were either referred to us or past clients or friends and family or even business relationships who had followed us on social media for a while and knew that we were serious about what we did. Now let's talk about the other side of prospecting, whereas we're looking at like prospecting for new business. Now this is gonna be a big bucket where you are going out It's outbound activities trying to get you face to face with people who overwhelmingly are just having the first impression with your business at that first contact. This looks like open houses, cold calling, door knocking, internet leads, etc., etc., etc. So whatever flavor of the moment of prospecting that you might be trying out, that is going to be the type of lead generation where you're getting in front of people who, for the first time, it's the first time they're meeting you and learning about your business. Now, while it's really important to have these types of prospecting systemized in your business as well, you want to understand that a lot of times these might have longer term nurture depending on the lead source, and they're going to be a little more difficult to convert because, like I mentioned, it's the first time they're learning about you and your business, so they don't have that warm, fuzzy, know, like, and trust factor with you just yet. Now, that is also why we want to focus on the database and marketing strategies that you want in your business, because that's going to help you warm up those leads over time and turn them into raving fans when they are ready to make the sale. So all that to say, you should understand that there are two different types of lead generation that we're doing here, and both need to be really dialed in with systems. Now, in that live training I mentioned at the top of this video, I'm actually going to be sharing exactly how to identify these different lead sources and understand what metrics you need to be monitoring to ensure whether or not they're actually working for you. But I will tell you now, most agents need a minimum of 3 solid lead sources where they're generating consistent leads from, maximum 7. Now, generating a predictable pipeline of business is just one part of it, right? Like, it doesn't matter how good you are at generating leads if you're really bad at converting and retaining them. So that leads us to the next system that you really have to have dialed in, which is lead conversion. Now, your lead conversion systems are going to look a little different depending on the lead sources that you are generating prospects from. This is also why it's really hard for any like real estate coach or guru to give you a one-size-fits-all approach, because that's part of the beauty of real estate. All of our businesses are going to be built a little bit differently, meaning that it's your job as a business owner to fine-tune the way that you want to follow up with these prospects. Now, depending on the maturation rate for your different lead sources, meaning depending on how long it takes you to get from client to close, you're going to have some follow-up strategies really dialed in here. So for example, in the Market Authority Academy, we talk quite a bit about really solid follow-up strategies that don't make you feel salesy, spammy, and let you stay top of mind with a prospect, whether they're ready to buy within 90 days or whether they're ready to buy 12 months from now. Now, not all agents are going to be at the place right away to where they need to use something like a CRM to automate these follow-up campaigns, but at a certain point when you are generating a certain number of leads through system number 1, you will need to leverage automation in order to keep this follow-up going, because one of the most important indicators of a healthy real estate business is whether they are able to convert different clients along all spectrums of that journey, right? We know that we have some right now clients and some clients who require a little bit of nurture. That is why it's so important to have a varied approach ready and dialed in for these different kinds of leads that you'll be generating. The second portion of your lead conversion, of course, is the consultation. Now, I can say without a doubt that the one thing that has really impacted our conversions over the years is our ability to set really great consultations with either buyers or sellers, and in order to do it like earlier rather than later. Meaning, I don't care if a buyer or a seller is not ready to make a move for like 12 months. If I get a lead, I'm going to be setting a face-to-face appointment, because we know overwhelmingly that most buyers or sellers will hire the first agent who they meet. Particularly when you are doing any kind of digital marketing and generating leads online, that is going to be likely the first impression that client is going to have with your business. And so if you can really solidify that face-to-face connection with them, you are that much more likely for this second lead system, your lead conversion, to actually follow through and be successful. Now, this process, again, is going to look different for every single agent, because every single agent has something different to offer their clients, whether you have taken the time to recognize what that actually is or isn't. Now, back to the Market Authority Academy, from that example that I mentioned, I'm working with real estate agents to have a really a fantastic consultation. In order to do that, they have to understand a couple of different things. Number one, they have to understand what value they bring to the table, right? So what are their unique experience levels, their skills, their interests, their belief systems that they can actually use to create an incredible client experience for that buyer or seller. Number two, you have to understand the buyer or seller, because in order to make those skills and interests and experience relevant to them, you have to understand what they want, what they need, what their pain points are, where they are in the cycle of home ownership as a whole. And in order to do that, it requires a little bit of research, a little bit of fact finding, and a little bit of storytelling so that you can actually explain when you're sitting across the table from that client how you are prepared better than any other agent to solve their unique problems. Along with this, you need additional methods of that wow client experience, for example. So how are you going to make sure that that first meeting is going to go off without a hitch? This is an entire experience that can be walked through a workflow and really written out in such a way to where it's very predictable and you are generating the same result time and time again. Now, after you've completed system number 2, right, and you have your foolproof plan to converting the lead and then turning them into a client for life, we then have to make sure that we keep them in that happy place where we are looking at system number 3, client retention. Now, your client retention system is going to look like a couple of different things. You really want to make sure that you've dialed in the wow client experience, which is kind of what I was just alluding to in the last point. But the wow client experience is going to take that client from like prospect who's a little afraid of going forward with this big transaction of a home purchase or a home sale and get them to a place where they are a raving fan and more of like a friend than just a business contact who only needs you when they're looking to buy or sell. Now, you might want to check out this video here that I just published recently where I am walking you through ways to break down an incredible wow client experience. That is definitely worth a watch, so you'll want to check that out next. But the next step that you're wanting to understand as well is your annual marketing plan. Now, just like back in system number 1, where we are generating new business and nurturing existing contacts in order for our lead prospecting, our annual marketing plan is going to help tie that all together by taking some of those newer leads and putting them into our network so that we can stay in touch with them, train them how to refer us over time, and create like a referral generating machine out of our network. The annual marketing plan is what helps you do that. Now, in order to have a really dialed in annual marketing plan, you have to have a couple of different touch points with your network that are going to be like touch points that will just help include your brand awareness over time and have a little more of assertive touch where you get that face-to-face interaction that will help you develop relationships. Because again, if we take a high level look at this, we're not messing with the thing that has always worked in real estate, which is real estate businesses. It's a people business. It's built on real people and real relationships. And so our annual marketing plan has to help us do that, whether we are marketing ourselves on social media or in person or through email or a mix of both, which is what it should be. Now, I know with this kind of information, we can get into the weeds really quickly, and it can be overwhelming, especially if you haven't spent a lot of time thinking about this stuff just yet. And that's why I created a brand new training that I am offering live for agents everywhere, and we are offering that really soon. Now, space is limited for this event. All the details in order to reserve your spot and register for this free training are going to be below in the caption, so check that out. I would love to invite you to spend some time live with me and learn about how you too can implement these incredible strategies for your business. And hey, if you missed the live session, I'll do you a solid. I'll link to the recording so you can still get that information here as well. Don't forget to hit subscribe to this channel and hit that bell notification icon to be notified every time I'm dropping new videos just like this. Not only, like I mentioned, it helps us stay in touch, but I do want to help other agents who are looking for information just like what I'm offering here, and you supporting this channel helps me to do that. So I really appreciate you tuning in to this video, and until next time, keep on crushing it.